JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, 1 dead, 4 injured in crash near UWI Irvine Gate. A passenger is now dead and 4 others injured, following a motor vehicle crash along Golding Avenue in Kingston, near the University of the West Indies, Irvine Gate on Monday. The deceased has been identified as 24-year-old Dennis Moody, otherwise called Bob Up, of Augustone Road in Kingston. According to the Papine Police, about 12:50 a.m., Moody was a passenger in a Nissan Sylphy motor car when the driver allegedly lost control of the vehicle, which crashed into an embankment and a utility pole and then overturned. The driver and 4 other occupants received injuries and were transported to hospital where they were admitted in serious but stable condition. However, Moody succumbed to his injuries. Farm worker killed in car crash. 1 man is dead and another hospitalized after a motor vehicle collision along the Mearnsville Main Road in Westmoreland on Sunday, June 12. The dead man has been identified as 25-year-old Michael Blackwood, a farm worker of Rivertop, Bluefields in the parish. Reports are that about 6:30 p.m., the driver for Toyota Kingfish that was heading in the direction of Savlamar lost control of the vehicle and collided with a utility pole. The driver was rushed to the Savlamar Public General Hospital while the passenger died on the spot. The police and fire brigade were summoned to the scene. The deceased's friend, Denroy Mary, said that he's in disbelief. "Me can't believe him dead. He's supposed to fly out next week," he shared. Blackwood was due to depart the island for work in the United States in a matter of days. 2 minutes ago, me and him just talked about a function, only to get a call said this happened, a distraught Mary added. Teenager at center of cable theft investigations. A teenage girl is not the center of a criminal investigation involving the suspected theft of cables belonging to one of the country's major telecommunications companies. According to the police, she was arrested along with 2 men in an operation on the AGR Byfield Highway in St. Ann on Sunday. The police said about 3 a.m., officers were on patrol when they observed a Eno motor truck and a Nissan Tida motor car parked on the roadway. They went to investigate, and upon their approach, a man reportedly entered the motor car and attempted to drive away. The police said the motor car was intercepted and the driver was arrested following preliminary investigations, which indicated that more than 100 feet of cables were cut from the area. Both drivers of the Nissan Tida motor car and the Eno motor truck, along with the teenager, were arrested and the vehicles seized. The investigation is ongoing. Man gunned down at Old Harbour bar identified. The police have identified the man who was gunned down at a bar in Old Harbour, St. Catherine on Saturday. He is 41-year-old auto body repairman Delano Williams of Bushy Park in Old Harbour. His attackers are still being sought. Williams and a woman were at the establishment, which is located along Oscott Drive, when around 5:50 p.m. a Toyota Probox motor car drove up. 2 men exited the vehicle and opened fire on Williams, shooting him multiple times in the upper body. The attackers returned to the car and sped away. The police were called to the scene and Williams, who was bleeding profusely, was assisted to hospital. He later succumbed to his injuries. St. Ann man charged after gun found in motorbike. St. Ann labourer 23-year-old Trey Walker has been charged by the police after being held with an illegal gun. Walker, who is from Claremont and Steertown, was charged on Saturday with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. A court date is to be set. The police report that a team was on mobile patrol in the Beechamville community when they signaled Walker to stop a motorbike he was driving. They say a search of the motorbike was conducted and a homemade firearm with 1 9mm round in the chamber was found under the seat of the motorbike. He was charged after a question and answer session was held. Victims of Waterford double murder identified. Shamari Henry, 29, has been identified as one of the men killed while delivering liquor on Morton Road in Waterford, St. Catherine on Sunday. The other man is identified as Damiki, a casual worker of Lauriston in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Henry, who was from Trial Heights in Spanish Town, was a customer service representative employed to a US-based call center. It was reported that about 11 a.m., the men were delivering a consignment of liquor when they were approached by armed thugs. Both men were shot, including in the head. They were pronounced dead at hospital. PNP says it won't support wholesale denial of bail to people charged with murder and gun crimes. People's National Party PNP President Mark Golding has declared that the parliamentary opposition will not support proposed changes to the Bail Act that will prevent persons charged with murder and gun crimes from getting bail. The government is seeking to implement tougher crime measures, and the Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Fort, has hinted that these measures could accompany the new Bail Act. However, addressing a divisional conference in Bridgeport, Portmore, St. Catherine on the weekend, the PNP president said he supports the outcry that amending the Bail Act will not be a workable solution to crime.
Talking about constitutional reform all of a sudden they said they want to deal with constitutional reform. I'm worried about how they approach constitutional reform. Because what is apparently their idea of constitutional reform is to take away the rights of the Jamaican people that are in the Constitution. Those rights didn't just come so. Those rights are the fruits of centuries of struggle of the Jamaican people against an oppressive system, from slavery through colonialism through to 1938 and the workers' struggles of that year, which brought trade union forward and brought the People's National Party into existence under the leadership of Norman Washington Manley. Those are the struggles that have given rise to us being able to recognize in our Constitution a Charter of Rights. The JLP, they want to take away the right to bail. In certain instances, there's a general outcry that that is not a workable solution, because the Constitution recognizes that there is a right to bail because there's a presumption of innocence given. It doesn't mean you automatically get bail, because if the prosecution or the police can establish that there's a good reason why you shouldn't get bail, the judge won't grant you bail. The solution to the problem is not to take away the right to bail in the Constitution. The solution is to make sure that the police and the prosecution are prepared when there's a bail application for the right information before the judge. And the judge can make the right decision. So we can't make slackness in the way that we prepare cases be a basis for taking away our rights. The People's National Party will not accept that. It will not accept that. And we will defend the right to the Jamaican people. Comrades, this cost of living situation is very dread.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has previously suggested that the concerns that the Bail Act and other legislative changes are meant to take away people's rights are needless. He said the changes proposed by the government will only apply in limited situations. Meanwhile, Senior Attorney Peter Champagne QC has also blasted the move to review the Bail Act, saying it suggests that judges have been derelict in their duties when considering bail. Champagne said the proposal is a knee-jerk response to the spate of crime, but he pointed out that in the majority of cases where bail is granted, reoffending does not occur, arguing that the government is treating the symptoms and not the cause of the problem. The attorney suggests more focus should instead be placed on improving the working conditions and the pay of law enforcement officers. In addition, he said boosting evidence-gathering capabilities should help to make sure that cases, when they come before the court, the only option for persons who are really guilty is to plead guilty. Champagne said he's offended that judges are being blamed for not imposing harsher penalties when that assertion is really wrong. Williams urges teachers to be resolute in face of attacks. The Minister of Education and Youth, Favour Williams, is urging the nation's teachers to remain resolute in the face of what is described as a lewd, crude, and highly unacceptable behaviors from some students. I know it must be severely demotivating for teachers who have had to deal with the rising menace of violent attacks on them by some students who are demonstrating serious signs of antisocial and other types of maladjustments, said Williams in a statement. Her statement followed last week's viral circulation of a video that showed a 16-year-old male student of Tivoli Gardens High School in West Kingston engaged in a fight with a 56-year-old senior female teacher. The fight was eventually broken up by fellow students, but not before the teacher sustained injuries for which she had to seek medical treatment. The student has since been slapped with several charges and is to appear in court later this month. Following the incident, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Winston Smith, urged educators to take a stance and fight back against attacks on students to protect their lives. But Williams wants a more conciliatory approach among stakeholders in the education system. I know it must be disheartening to see videos on social media with students exhibiting behaviors that are totally inconsistent with what they're being taught within the precincts of the classroom. I urge our teachers not to lose faith and the positive motivation for nation building which caused most of you to enter the education sector, she said. She encouraged teachers to join their reserves during these challenging times. We're in a fight against powerful influences in our society that are leading our children astray. Some of these influences glorify vice as virtue and prop up disrespect as something to celebrate. We cannot allow these forces to nullify the good deeds of education stakeholders who are working to see the children of this country thrive and realize their full potential, Williams said. The minister acknowledged that there are no quick fixes to the many long-standing problems of student misbehavior, which he said have been exacerbated since the COVID-19 pandemic, where the majority of students were unable to access face-to-face learning for close to 2 years. She reiterated her call for parents to give greater supervision to their children at this time and to utilize the services of various government agencies that offer assistance to children and parents in need of help. Jamaica reports 207 new COVID cases, 1 more death. Jamaica reported 207 new cases of COVID-19 and 1 fatality on Sunday, according to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This pushed the total number of cases of the virus since the start of the pandemic to 140,670 and the death toll to 3,084. Of the newly reported cases, there were 132 females and 76 males, with ages ranging from 4 months to 92 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 56, St. Catherine 54, St. Anne 17, St. Thomas 17, St. James 15, Portland 10, Manchester 8, Westmoreland 7, Trelawney 6, Clarendon 5, Hanover 4, St. Elizabeth 4, and St. Mary 4. Meanwhile, the latest death is an 82-year-old woman from St. Catherine. The country also recorded 131 new recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 88,864. The positivity rate for the latest round of testing was 21.9%. There are 134 people hospitalized, 3 of them critically ill. There are 2,783 confirmed active cases on the island. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.